What made the popular kid at school the unpopular kid? When school started, she was so popular she could hang out with anyone in any kind of friend group. She was that beautiful, social, athletic blonde girl. Then, she began hanging out with me, the 16 years old handicapped girl walking slowly with a wooden cane like an old woman. She instantly got unpopular, but still decided to stick around, and we made our own group of friends. 10 years later, she's a popular jeweler in my old town, and still as beautiful, funny and kind as ever. He thought it would be cool to bring a loaded BB gun to school and got the cops called on him by another student. My partner likes to tell the story of how she became the unpopular kid at school. She was about 6, 7, so primary 2 here in the UK, and a trend kicked off in her class of eating dog biscuits. All the kids were stealing dog biscuits from home and eating them at break time. Unfortunately, she didn't have a dog and just had to eat normal human biscuits at school. She was ostracized every break time for it. Peer pressure is weird sometimes. One of the kids at our school lived with his grandma cause his parents died. Ducker and a group of his mates started harassing the old lady whenever she came to pick him up. Principal was reported this, and they ended up getting expelled altogether. She made fun of a girl with cancer, made a joke like, "Why don't you ask your mom to buy you a wig, I can see your scalp," and overnight, she was the least liked person in school, and 100% deserved it. He started calling a bunch of kids the N-word and his life just went downhill from there. His girlfriend dumped him, moved away to a private school, so he started sending videos of him jacking off to the other popular girls in school. A popular guy in my year pissed himself during an exam in our gym hall. Unfortunately for him, the biggest asshole in our year was sitting directly behind him. He immediately stood up and yelled "P pissed himself." He proceeded to get teary-eyed and say, "It's my energy drink." It spilled over and over before the exam supervisor literally dragged him out of the hall. 2 weeks later he returned to school the unpopular kid and kept a low profile for a while until it eventually died down and he climbed the social ranks once more. That is until an episode of The In-Betweeners, a popular TV show in the UK, aired in which one of the main characters shits himself in the exam hall, and it reminded everyone of what happened, effectively nuking his popularity all over again. A guy at my school got drunk at a party, got naked and inserted his penis into a Jim Beam bottle and ran around all crazy like with it attached, but not having to use his hands. At the time it was quite a laugh, but it wasn't until a day or so later people thought about how small the opening was to a Jim Beam bottle. That was basically the end of him, and thus the legend of Slim Jim was born. She stopped handing out free Skittles. Rip Skittle Girl's reputation. Having a set of keys given to him by the school, WTF. I know, because he was one of the really popular kids. Then using those keys to break into the school and steal 30k worth of woodworking metalworking tools. There was one kid in my class who was the son of our maths teacher. He was crazy popular because he was able to help everyone out with their homework for that class. Turns out he was actually snooping through his dad's notes to get the answers. The teacher naturally got super suspicious after a while, so he deliberately made a fake answer sheet. Of course, the kid grabbed it and noted it all down. It was full of wrong answers, so blatant that anyone who even slightly paid attention in class would know they were way off base. The kid handed out the answers anyway, and in an instant, made about half the class bomb, and his popularity dropped like a rock as they all accused him of deliberately making them fail. They moved him to another class and they never had an incident of cheating again. Crystal meth. The kid had cancer, was super cool. While he was doing chemo, cancer went into remission and he became a total douche. He didn't get a Sega Dreamcast, but I did, so I became the popular kid, until the PlayStation 2 kid rolled up. He accidentally stabbed and blinded in one eye the nicest kid in the school by throwing a stick at him. The kid that was blinded grew up to be super successful and is now married, with a baby on the way. Guy wasn't necessarily the popular kid, but it wasn't a big school so everyone knew everyone. I think between 9th 10th grade he was found alone in his car behind the local arcade beating off. He was called Thumper from that day forward. No idea what happened after graduation, but he has to have some bad memories of those years. He got into legal trouble because he and his team embezzled misused $250K from the student union. The university kicked him out, stopped paying the annual $2 million to the student union withhold funds, although that was later overruled by the courts, and revoked the privileges granted to the student union. Earlier this year, they stated that they and students are no affiliation to the student union. After 1 year of negotiations, his team was still running the student union because they were elected. They bought votes by offering pancakes, waffles and donuts for those who vote for their party, and had street volunteers that would pressure students to vote for the party. It actually led to a law being passed in Ontario that prevented universities to force students to pay non-mandatory fees. The scandal was revealed by a student party called the Rhino Party back in December 2018. January and February, heads started rolling and law and accounting firms started getting involved to figure out how much was spent. It was rumored the figure was anywhere from 100k 900k. Ontario provincial lawmakers passed the law in the summer of 2018. Starting fall 2019, I had a choice whether I wanted to pay auxiliary fees to support the student newspaper, NGOs that operated in the school, support the student union, etc. That provincial law was recently overturned by the courts this year, so starting next fall, I'm forced to pay fees associated with groups that I don't support. He went from being popular to being a school meme. There's actually a lot of bank statements available that showcase what they bought. Started straight up lying to teachers to get people in trouble. Don't know how he thought that was gonna work out. He shit his pants. I remember a guy at my school kept on asking to use the restroom, and the teacher kept refusing. Eventually, he went up to a trash can, dropped, and took a shit. This was middle school, but nevertheless, folks remember it to this day. If that was my school, he would have been a legend. He ducked his friend's mom at a party. Let's call popular kid A and his friend B. B's mom was arrested as she shouldered Bean, and B faced torment from basically everyone that knew what happened. Kid A continued to brag about his actions. Eventually people gained sympathy for B and Kid A lost his popularity real fast. This guy at my table would play the "no one likes me, I'm the center of attention now" card. As in, he would fake sadness for attention, redirecting conversation and drawing the energy from a room. Like the kid who won't be friends with you anymore because you wore the same color shirt. He was quite wealthy too and would rub it in your face. He teased my best friend for being built like a Mack truck. She picked him up and put him upside down in the garbage can. He lost any coolness he had. Threw a hockey stick hollow ended into the special needs kid's eye socket. He claimed it was accidentally only, but was caught bragging about it on his Snapchat story. He then said his words, "Not mine." He doesn't have any hope though. So what does it matter? The kid needed surgery that his parents had to pay for, as it was cosmetic. The kid moved to a cheaper schools a week later. In elementary school, so popularity was already sort of a nebulous concept. But one boy got pantsed at recess and was found to be wearing diapers. Pretty sure he was incontinent, which has got to be a rough ducking road for a little kid, especially since he didn't seem to have any other noticeable disabilities. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe,